Hello, everybody. It's Belen Diaz, and this is the E-volve show. And today we have with us the founder and CEO of 109, Leticia Reyes. Leticia is the founder and CEO of 109, a platform that helps improve your happiness and fulfillment through caring for oneself and our planet. Hello, Leticia. How are you?
I am good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And I have to say to all the audience that Leticia, other than a speaker, is a really good friend of mine, and it's a total honor to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited for what this conversation is going to be.
So would you like to start telling us a little bit about your company and what you guys do?
Yes. So I am the co-founder and executive director of 109 World. I co-founded 109 with two friends 5 years ago. And it was very interesting because me and my two other co-founders, we had our own separate jobs, but we came into the same realization that it doesn't matter how awesome you think your job is or how impactful your organization is, how many lives your product or service is changing. If you go back home and you continue to be your worst boss, you treat your family without patience, your team without gratitude, we say at 109 that you're taking one step forward and 2 steps back. We really think that you can only, right? Like if you have the energy or the routine, or if it is ingrained in your mind that these are the people that I need to treat like right, or have an impact or change their lives, we will not see the change that we are all working so hard to see in the world, right? We need to live and breathe our values, and the best practice for that is starting very close to home, right? With our closest friends, our family, with ourselves. And I'm so happy to see that the conversation around mindfulness, which is like self-care and first giving love to yourself so then you can send that love to the world, is becoming more and more common and popular, because that's true. And that's what 109 stands for. It's like, how can we help individuals move from, I understand I need to be that way, I understand I need to adopt those practices in my day-to-day routine, but then how do I do it? And that's where 109 come in. We founded 5 years ago 109 to become a platform for individuals to learn practical tools, to practice mindfulness, to practice self-care, but then put that into service to the world. And we've been serving incredible individuals. We have over 500 individuals in our community that we've been helping live a more mindful and self-confident life. And it's been very exciting. Also learning a lot on the journey.
So other than the platform, you guys also do like retreats and community events and things like that?
Exactly. When I say platform, is basically we have a beautiful community that basically serve for all our participants as a support system. We are very close. We become very close friends, almost like family, because of their retreats. We host these retreats several times a year to different locations with different topics that we're exploring more in depth. And that's basically where we teach a lot, and that's where people get exposed to a lot of methodologies and tools that we have developed that make it easier for them to just live a more mindful and happier life.
Nice. So it will be kind of like an intense kind of like a workshop where we can learn all these tools and all these things in a short period of time.
Exactly. I love that you use the word intense, because that's what I use. But a lot of my participants were like, no, you guys like curate and host these retreats, which are usually 1 week long, so well. You create in a way that it flows so well that it kind of, you're just there and just going with the flow, and you're learning a lot along the process, but it doesn't feel intense at all. Because sometimes I say some retreats feel like an intense therapy, you know, and some people agree, and some people are like, no, it flows so well, so natural, that it's so easy to imagine myself when I go back home, just replicating that flow, that routine. And that's the ideal scenario when people feel that way. But yeah, some people say it's intense. I do. But a lot of people are like, no, it flows so naturally that it's easy to visualize myself doing the same exact things back home.
Yeah, and also I feel like one of the important things about all your work is like the community oriented things
Yes.
that it's like everybody's supporting each other, so you feel like more committed to change yourself or to live like more mindfulness.
Yeah, exactly. We love the conversation around self-care, which is directly related to mindfulness. But a lot of people say that self-care is selfish, and that's why sometimes there's an unconscious barrier that we have. We don't want to practice. We don't want to block periods of time during our week to practice self-care, to practice mindfulness, because we have this idea. It doesn't look busy, first of all, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't look productive or feel productive, and therefore you feel like kind of selfish. Like I could be doing so many other things and just being sitting here, just being introspective or reflecting or meditating or whatever mindfulness and self-care looks like to you. And I love that conversation because it's only selfish if you don't extend that to the world, if you don't put that self-compassion, that self-love, that self-empathy to service. You know, if you don't treat everybody else with that same love, with the same care, then yeah, it is selfish, because then it's just like energy and time for you, and how much can you grow or see improvement if you're not putting that into service. You need a community to see like, where am I at in that process of self-care, and just like putting that into service with the community. For us at 109, that's self-care. It's like, and that's mindfulness. Is yes, you fill your cup so you can pour it to others, but the community aspect is essential. It's fundamental. And there are some people that don't address that part, and that's why I think sometimes a lot of people are just not interested in the conversation, because they're like, no, like that sounds selfish. And I say it's not selfish, it's self-ish. You know, it's like there is a part, yeah, ish, because yes, the big part is taking time for yourself, but then you put that into service. You know, we
Yeah,
can
but
only
also,
give as much. Yeah.
yeah, so important what you were saying, like the being in on service, like because also I think your company or your retreats, you guys do a lot about that
Always.
to help communities, like in
Yeah.
Marrakech was that one, you guys
Yes.
school or something like that.
Yes, each retreat, we choose a different topic around mindfulness and self-care to dive deeper, but also we always have a project, a community project we will be volunteering with. The reason why we have the community work on every retreat is because we see that you can only, well, when we're saying to our community, we will help you live a more fulfilled, mindful and happy life. The three aspects that we need to cover, and we say that the probability of you practicing them, nourishing them, it's bigger to getting a happier, more fulfilled life. And those three things are time for self-work, for self-love, nourish relationships, like learn how to know how do you, I mean, like friendships are sweet responsibilities, right? You need to nourish them. You need to dedicate time for them. And people that don't do that along the years, it is because of their work or their lifestyle. At the end, they will feel very empty, because friendships, really, other types of relationships really feel
Mm-hmm.
us, right? And the third thing is meaning, doing that you are using at least some of your time, dedicating some of your time to meaningful things. And when we come to this third topic, a lot of people reply back saying, I don't know what I care about. I don't know what's meaningful for me, because they never had the time to think about things they care about. But we all, I think it's in our nature to help. It's,
Yeah.
you know, in each of us, we have something that we're really passionate about. But well, unfortunately, with society nowadays, that we need to be in the grind mode. You know, it's we don't dedicate time to thinking, what do I actually care about? So the community service aspects of our retreats is to give them a chance to rediscover or discover for the first time what they care about. So that's why every retreat is a different project. We have worked with girls' education, We
Mhm.
have worked with sea turtle protection, with stray animals, to orphanages, to access to affordable education and clean drinking water. Every trip has very different or incredible organizations that we partner with, and the reason why they're all these different causes that we support is to hopefully introduce these different incredible organizations and causes to people and see if they can discover, explore a little bit what they care about.
That
And
they
usually it's
can.
very effective.
That's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
like the girls are like, oh, I actually really care about this. And also once that you're there and you're like supporting others or helping in that community, then even if you haven't discovered that for you, you're like, oh, now these people, I feel like I need to care about them. Like I
Yes,
met them personally. So I think that's
exactly.
great.
Yeah, yeah. And the insights is not, they're not always strictly related to the cause we're supporting. So we might have built a turtle sanctuary supporting the cause of sea turtle protection,
Mhm.
uh, but when we are volunteering, we're meeting the local community. We're meeting people, individuals that were poachers, that were killing turtles and stealing like baby turtles and eggs, and now learning about their story, see how that changed, like, and having that connection with them. You see that you don't really care about the sea turtle, but you really care about that community, about like, wow, I love experiencing and witnessing different realities and different stories. So I didn't know I cared that much, or I felt so alive by just meeting different people from different cultures. So it's like to that level, it's like nothing related to sea turtle, but it's with something else, evolved. So that's what is the coolest thing ever. It's not that we are everybody that cares about sea turtles come on this trip. No, it's just the aspect of working with the community, getting to experience different realities, different challenges. Those are things that will open the door to discovering what you actually care about.
Yeah, that's so nice. And then I feel like also like for the women who goes to these retreats, a lot of them will be dealing with self-confidence or things like that. So in the moment they're starting to focus in being on service to other person or things like that, then they are feeling much better about themselves, and then they probably go back home feeling like, oh, like I'm worth it, I did something really good for this community, and then they can start building up confidence and mindfulness and all these things once that they're back home, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting to see that it doesn't matter which background you comes from, what age you are, even if, yeah, even if you're female or male, like a lot of our participants, and even sometimes myself, I see that I am working really hard in that project or volunteering, wanting to do a lot because I myself am not feeling the best, right? I'm like, I need to compensate somewhere, and then doing that work usually helps. And what we try to explore with our participants when that's the case is that, yes, being of help and seeing that you can make a difference, even I'm not talking about how big or small, make a difference point, that always helps with self-confidence, right? You're like, oh my god, I actually have the skills that can put into use, or I actually am a good listener. I can just sit down here and listen, and people can just talk. So whatever, when you have that opportunity, there's always this little magic that makes you feel better. And what we try to talk to explore during our retreats is, yes, that's great, and that's definitely a tool to just go back and reconnect and reground, and remember, yes, you are worth it, you are incredible, you have skills and gifts that just you have, because we are unique individuals, nobody's like you. That sounds cliche, but it's true, you know
Mhm.
um, and but the thing is that work, you don't need to go to Mexico and build a turtle sanctuary from scratch to feel that way. We say that to you, if you're feeling a little bit down, if you're feeling like a lack of self-confidence, just to have to do something meaningful will help. And something meaningful doesn't mean you embark on a journey to end hunger in the world. You know, it doesn't need for you to go and volunteer in a homeless shelter or, you know, help sponsor education to an adolescent. If you are in that position, that's incredible. That's amazing. And 100% you're going to feel incredible. But meaning is a human thing. We attach meaning to things. Things don't come, they're not born or they're not created. It's like, this is a meaningful rock. This is not this is a meaningful flower. This is not a meaningful rock. No, we attach meanings, you know, to things, to experiences, to people. Mm-hmm. So what we try to remind people, and I try to do that with myself every day, it's like, there's meaning in everything if we want to. You know, if you're a barista and you make an incredible coffee, like, you're going to make a lot of people's days, you know, like how many days you're like, I just want a delicious, like, cappuccino right now, you know, and then you go to your favorite coffee shop and somebody, you can see they put extra love. They sometimes do the little heart or little leaf or little, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, right? That makes me super happy when I see those arts in my coffee. I'm like, I already love coffee, and now it has this treat of like a heart or a flower. That person just made my morning. How meaningful is that?
It's that, yeah.
You know, but you can see it that way. You can choose to see that way. You can choose not to see that way. And if we start seeing more things in our lives that way, I'm pretty sure we'll start feeling much better about ourselves more often.
Yeah, that's so true. So valuable.
Right?
That's so great. I love like the flower thing on the cappuccino, because it's true. Like, it's something different, and it's like it adds to your day too. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Or even, you know, I don't know, your partner, your roommates, your housemate, you know, they like, you know, the kitchen clean, and you just left your lunch dishes there, and then it's just go and wash it. And like, you know, like, that's a meaningful thing. It's,
it can be just the little things. It doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah, right. Because the little things at the end of the day are not that little, right? They're the ones that make our lives, make our personalities. So
That's great. And then we know this is not the moment for traveling, everybody.
I know.
But soon, Leticia will start with her retreats again.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about it, or?
Totally. Yes. So, yes, unfortunately, travel now, it's not possible, but hopefully sooner than we think, we'll be able to start, you know, hosting our experiences again. And we would be more than happy to see the E-volve community joining us. So we are happy to extend a 10% discount on future retreats. And if whoever's listening to this would like to claim that 10% discount, they could email us at info@109world.com. And the subject line could be Evolve Your World Community. And we can just share the special discount code with all of them and add them if they're interested in our mailing list for email list for joining our virtual events, because we've been hosting online sessions every Friday. And that's to just keep our community together, adding value to their life and inspiration. So these sessions, we are teaching what we basically teach on our retreats, but just with 1 hour long sessions every Friday. So if people are interested, they would like to explore, these are free, of course. You just need to email us to get the link to join, and we would love to see more faces there.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Leticia. And I'm inviting all of you guys to just come to her community too, because it's like very great community.
Yeah, Belen joined our brass session last Friday.
Yeah.
What did you think?
And I love it.
Not sure if she was speaking the truth.
I really like it. Yeah.
Nice. Great. Yeah. And if anybody would like to just have some resources, ask more questions about what we just talked about at 109, and Belen and I were just talking before this conversation, we have so much content, so many guides that we are producing to offer to our community. So if you are interested in receiving those as well, that type of content, we'd be happy to share.
That's great. Well, Leticia, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I hope to see more of you. I hope you continue to take care of yourself during these crazy times.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I'm sure I'm gonna see you soon.
Okay, girl. Bye.
Bye.